Hello, thank you for joining me for another episode of Hydroponics Daily. Today's episode is the 5 worst products in hydroponics. The 5 products in hydroponics? That rhymes. This is obviously just my personal opinion. Everyone has their own different opinion, so, don't shoot me. Don't take it too personally. And obviously, if you think differently, please get in touch. And if you know a worse product, then please send me a message and I'm happy to showcase that one as well. So the first one is not very debatable, and that is eBay grow lights. And the sort of stuff that you get drop shipped from, well, let's say where, lots of lights are made, and they can have wire. The problem with them is that they are often not got the CE mark if you're in the European Union. So they're not necessarily to the same safety standards. And also they are not up to the same standards of the lights you would get in a grow room or from a professional supplier. And they will claim, 1,000 watts, 800 watts. And if you actually measure the photosynthetic energy coming out of them, it'll be far, far less. That's a good reason to go to your grow shops, is that often large grow shops will have a light meter that measures in photons, and you can actually measure how much photosynthetic radiation, PAR, is actually coming out of the lights. And these meters can be used to showcase the outputs, and you can compare ones in the shop to ones that old ones that you've got. And you'll know that LEDs decrease in output over time. So you could go in with your old lights and say, just want to compare it to the current lights. If they've got one of these things, whereas you can't do that with eBay. You just have to believe what they say. And obviously we know from eBay that, it says 1,000 watts. eBay aren't going to take that listing down if it's not 1,000 watts, if it's only 200 or 50 and stuff like that. So if you go on Reddit, you'll see, people saying, what's wrong with my plants? And it's like, you're under a crappy eBay LED, that's your problem. That's 9 times out of 10. That's that and overwatering and the problems on Reddit plants when you see them growing there. So eBay grow lights, they're normally trash unless you're getting a branded one and it's coming from a legitimate source. The second worst product, I think, in hydroponics are any sodium-based plant wash. So these are sodium lauryl sulfate, cheap soaps that are pretending to be horticultural soaps. And so there are a number of products that contain these, which I'll call out. The first one is Canacure. Cana are a good brand, make a lot of good products, but don't know why they use sodium lauryl sulfate in their plant wash. There are plant-safe alternatives. We have one that's sodium-free at Utrema, and there are other people that manufacture them, especially in North America. And so there's no reason to use sodium-based ones. Sodium is like arsenic to plants. The quickest way, as I've said in the past, to kill a plant is put sodium on it. So you're going to get some harm from applying some sodium to a plant. The other product that contains sodium in the plant wash is SB Plant Invigorator. SB Plant Invigorator, very common in the UK. So avoid sodium and go for potassium-based ones or magnesium-based ones. The third product, get my list here, is any tonic that doesn't say what's in it. So lots of tonics and biostimulants in hydroponics, but does it say what's in it? If it looks like a seaweed extract, smells like a seaweed extract, and it behaves like a seaweed extract, a lot of the claims are like a seaweed extract, it's probably a seaweed extract. If it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck, and swims like a duck, it's probably a duck. And so you could be paying over the odds for these tonics that are essentially just seaweed extracts. Fourth product is one that I've experienced recently, tents with Velcro seals. Don't see the point in these. You want to zip seal all the way around any hydroponics tent, grow tent, because you want to keep out pest and disease and odors and things like this. A Velcro seal is useless, especially if there's gaps in it. Don't see the point. Paying a lot of money for these tents, and you would just assume that they're going to be hermetically sealed, almost not quite, but very close to. Okay, so they are, and then the final product of these 5, my worst 5 products is any flush product. If you look at the safety data sheet or the ingredients for a lot of flush products, they're just very, very dilute citric acid. Same stuff that goes in your dishwasher cleaner or your washing machine cleaner or your kettle cleaner. The flushing is just water at the end of the day. You want to be putting water through, or even iced water, a lot of people do, just to flush out all the nutrients from the growing wind. And this is for smokable crops where they want the breakdown of the chlorophyll as much as possible and removing of the salts before they cure the product. So a flush product's really not needed. You're buying a lot of water and you're buying very, very expensive citric acid. But if you know differently and you think a flush product does work and you think that there is an active ingredient in there, I am more than happy to change my mind. And if you think that tents with Velcro seals have an advantage, then I'm happy to change my mind if you convince me otherwise. And if you think there's a fantastic eBay grow light out there that is blowing all the other ones out of the water and you think all the other LED grow lights are just a waste of money and you should be getting on this one, then yeah, let me know. And proof of the pudding there is in the eating. So that's been Hydroponics Daily for today. Bit of a contentious one. Hopefully it doesn't cause too much drama out there, but I think these are fairly well known, these things. So thank you very much for joining me. Remember to hit that follow button so that you don't miss any episodes. They're coming at you thick and fast every single day. Thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.